Right, in this screencast I'm going to show you how to do simple search using BNCweb and point out a few useful tips for you. So I'm assuming that you've got to BNCweb standard query page as shown in the how to register screencast. The word I've chosen to look at is decent, partly because it's to a certain extent it's the opposite of wicked, the word which is looked at in the unit, and partly because it's another word similarly to wicked that has probably several different meanings, and I'm quite interested to see which one is the most common. Right, so on this page, obviously to search for a word you type it in. If you press enter, that doesn't do anything, so don't press that. What we need to do the query is to start query. There are a couple of other things here that are worth pointing out to you. First of all, with this particular type of query, it doesn't matter, because I've got simple query ignore case, it doesn't matter whether I put a small d or a capital D, it makes no difference. You can specify if you want case sensitive, you can do that too. We won't worry about CQP syntax at this stage. Second thing to note is that the number of hits you'll get when you do the search at the moment is set at 50. You can set it to different numbers. 50 is quite a manageable number though. The third thing, and it's not so important at this stage, is we're looking at the whole corpus. If you click on there, you'll see options to search just the written part or the spoken part of the corpus as well. So, sorry, just one other thing to point out is we're just doing a very simple query here, but you can also do more complex queries if you want to find out a bit more about them. This is quite a good place to start. You can download by right-clicking and saving this. It's a PDF document. It explains how to do some basic searches in BNCweb. Anyway, let's start our query, see what happens. And as you see, we get well, let's look first of all at the frequency information. So the word decent, and this is decent with capital D or small d, occurs 1769 times in the BNC in 839 different texts. Here we have the total size of the corpus and total number of texts in the corpus. And finally there's a normalized frequency. So if you average out these number of hits over the size of the corpus, this is the number you'd expect to see for every million words. This figure allows you to compare across corpora of different sizes, because that's the first thing to note. Second thing is the view. So under the default setting we're given sentences, the sentence which each instance of the word decent occurs in. You'll notice it's quite easy to see. There is another way of viewing this which many people prefer, me included, and that is the quick view, keyword in context. And if we just click on here, you'll see what I mean. This lines up decent down the middle, and as I say, people quite like this. It allows, I think, 10 items, 10 on either side, so 10 words, or maybe a little bit more. Okay, the next thing to note, we've got them in context. If you wanted, you have them in a keyword in context, and you want to see more of the context, well, first of all, this will show you how they are tagged, what parts of speech each word is tagged as. But if you want to see more, you can click on here. It will take you to the larger co-text of this word. Here's decent, this instance of decent, and the text that it's in. Let's just go back. So you can see we can get quite a lot of information about each word. Another thing is, if we're interested in seeing the different meanings of the word and how frequent they are, this may not be the best way of doing it, because at the moment they're in the same order that they appear in the corpus, and this is clear from the fact that the file names start here with A, 0, and go gradually up A1, etc. Eventually we'd get to B, probably a couple of pages in. There are, after all, 36 pages. So this may not give us a balanced view of what's in the corpus. I notice, for example, for the file A18, that's the same text from Dostoevsky, you'll notice quite a lot of metadata is available. It seems to be all decent man, decent man, decent man. So this might not give us a balanced picture by looking them at in the same order as they are in the corpus. So we can change this to show in random order. And now we'll notice the file names are randomized. And that seems like a more balanced way of looking at them. Right. Okay, let's have a look here. There's one other thing that might be worth checking out at this stage. If you come to this box, we've got several different options. We won't worry too much about the other ones, but sort is quite an interesting one and quite a simple one to look at this stage. So go to sort, go, and this sorts the words here which are in the position 1 to the right of the node word decent, and it might, by sorting them, it might suggest some other avenues of inquiry. Here, decent accommodation seems to go together. Again, you could scroll through all the pages to look for other decent patterns. You might be interested in what is one to the left of decent, in which case you'd submit. And obviously comes up quite a lot. And if you go to the end, the final page will probably be full stops quite a lot. Yes. So I think this gives us a fair idea of what you can do with very simple searches. Just to go back to the page we started from, we go to New Query, go, and you're ready for another search.